For today, we're going to watch a video because I got called into a meeting. So this is the lesson that we were going to do if I was going to be in all classes all day long. So today we're talking about describing graphs. On your foldable, there's a section that says Tell a Story. This is what you put there. A variety of real-world situations can be represented by graphs. Make a rough sketch of this graph on your foldable. On the x-axis, we have time, and on the y-axis, we have amount of popcorn. So as time goes on, the amount of popcorn in the tub starts slowly decreasing, and then rapidly decreases to nothing. We're going to compare that to this tub of popcorn. On this tub of popcorn, there was no change for some time, and then there was a little bit of eating the popcorn, and then no change, and then it went from a lot of popcorn to none. So that maybe something like the person spilled the popcorn, and so now there's none in the tub. This is how graphs tell a story. So make sure you have both of these on your foldable and describe what's happening in both of them in a real-world situation. On page 75, we're going to describe some graphs, and there are about 12 of them. So I want you to rough sketch each graph when you see it, and then just write the words that I circle to describe it. You don't have to write all of them. So on graph A, if you notice the line is going up, or the dots are going up the y-axis, that means that it's increasing. So you would draw the graph and then write increasing. The dots are not connected, so this means that this graph is discrete. The dots form a straight line if they were to be connected, so this means that they are linear. And then the intercepts are where they cross the x and y axis. So we have a dot on the x-axis. One of the intercepts is 1, 0, and there's not anything on the y-axis. Here's graph B. Go ahead and do a rough sketch. It doesn't have to be perfect. Again, this line is increasing as we read it left to right. The dots are connected, so it's continuous. It forms a straight line, so it's linear. And it crosses the x-axis at 0, 1. That's not right. It crosses the x-axis at, hang on, this is going to be in a different color, 1, 0. There we go. Okay, graph C. Go ahead, rough sketch this in your notebook. If you notice on this one, both arrows are pointing up, so a lot of people think that means that it's just increasing. But if you read the graph left to right, you notice that one side is decreasing. So this one is both increasing and decreasing. You can draw this line in one motion of the pencil. You don't have to pick your pencil up. So it means that it's connected and continuous. And since this doesn't create a straight line, it's non-linear. And your intercepts, it only crosses the intercept at one point that we can see, and that is, again, I messed up on here. Let me change this. That is 4, 0. And your y-intercept may be up there. We don't know where at, so we don't have to list it. Here's graph D. Okay, and so on graph D, if you look at what's increasing and decreasing, you should find both somewhat. You can draw this without picking up your pencil, so it's continuous. It does not create a straight line, and it does not cross a y-intercept, or an x-axis or a y-axis. Here's graph E. Go ahead and sketch that in your notebook. When you look at this one, it is, the arrow pointing up makes you think that it's increasing. But again, if you read this left to right, it's only decreasing. You can, you don't have to pick up your pencil when you draw this one, so it's continuous. And it does not create a straight line. And we don't know if it crosses the x or y axis, so we can't put the intercepts on it. Here's F. Go ahead and sketch this one. On this one, if you go from left to right, it's neither increasing nor decreasing. They are dots that are not connected, so it's discrete. They do form a straight line. If they were connected, it would be a straight line. And then we don't know the intercepts because there's not one crossing the x-axis. Here's G, and on this one, I want you to try to figure this one out before you hear me give you the answers. So pause it, write down what you think it is, and then hit play. If I read it left to right, I notice that my line stays at 2. That means it's neither increasing or decreasing. I can draw this line without picking up my pencil, so it's continuous. It's a straight line, so it's linear. And since that arrow tells me that it goes on forever in that left direction, I know my y-intercept is 0, 2. Here's H. Again, I want you to try to do this one on your own before you get the answers from me. If you look at it going left to right, you have lots of increasing and decreasing. You can make this in one motion of your pencil, so it's continuous. There are a few curves here, so it's not going to be linear. And then we can see that it crosses the y-axis at 3. But it doesn't cross the x-axis. Here's I. When you read I left to right, you have increasing and decreasing. There are no dots to be connected. They've already been connected, so it's continuous. And this is not a straight line, so it's nonlinear. And it crosses the x and y axis. On this one, both of them are crossed. So you get 7, 0, and 0, 3. J. Okay. You can't tell if this is increasing or decreasing, so it's neither. It's discrete because their dots are not connected. There's no line here. And there's only one place where a dot's on the y-axis, so that is 0, 1. And here's K. If I read this left to right, then it's decreasing, and a lot of people think that that arrow pointing up means it's increasing, but it's decreasing going left to right. It's continuous because I can do this in one motion of the pencil. It creates a straight line, so it's linear. And it looks like, well, because of the arrow, it will cross the x-axis the y-axis at 0, 6.5, and somewhere it's going to cross that x-axis, but we're not quite sure where. And the last graph for today's notes, when you read it left to right, it's increasing and decreasing. Obviously, they're connected, so it's continuous. And then this needs to create one straight line, and it creates 3 straight lines. So it's nonlinear. And then it crosses the y-axis at 0, 4, but there's no arrow there, so it's not going to cross the x-axis. So here are your choices for the rest of class. You can work the skills practice book, pages 361 to 368, and I would start with the odds. Or you can get on Khan Academy and work finding intercepts from a graph and graphing points and naming quadrants. I really appreciate you guys taking this opportunity and doing what you're supposed to do while I have to be out. And I'm sorry that this was kind of last minute. So make sure you've got all your notes. Rewatch the video if you need to. Keep busy. I expect an excellent report if I miss your class period today. Some of you, I'll be in there, so I know that you'll be doing exactly what you're supposed to do.